Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lysha from Lysha Be Creative, and if you're new here, welcome. In today's video, we're not quite doing a tutorial. I'm actually going to be walking you through how to utilize the offset feature in Cricut Design Space. So I know that the offset feature is not new in Cricut Design Space, but I often get questions on several of my tutorials where I have utilized the offset feature for either peekaboos or different style tumblers utilizing the offset feature. And so I wanted to put a video together that showed you my two favorite ways to use the offset feature and what that looks like on different types of crafts. So I'm going to be walking you through that in Cricut Design Space today. And of course, if you have any questions, leave those in the comment section down below. Your questions and your engagement in the comment section really do help me create tutorials in the future and videos of things that you guys want to see on my channel that is going to be helpful for you in your crafting or through your business journey. Before you go though, be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It means the absolute world to me to have you guys subscribe to my channel and coming back to my channel every Tuesday and Saturday to watch new uploads. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into today's video. Okay, so today we're going to be in Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to be showing you again two ways that I like to use the offset feature here in Cricut. So of course we know that this feature is not new, but I frequently get questions on a few of my tutorials, which I've listed down below, that may be helping you to sort of see how I was able to create the offset and how I do these for, say, peekaboos or other layered fonts that I like to layer vinyl in order to get more of a finished look on a tumbler. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm creating a peekaboo offset here. So I've just gone ahead and created a text box, and I have found a font that I enjoy. I am going to then go to the combine button down here in the lower right corner and click weld so that I don't end up with any cut marks in the font that I've chosen. Once I've gotten that, I'm going to go ahead and select the offset feature, which is at the top bar on Cricut. So once I do this, you can either use the toggle feature in the center here and just move the offset towards, the bar as you so wish, or you can go ahead and type in the offset that you choose to wish in that open inches section there. You'll also notice that Cricut gives you an option to either do rounded edges or sharp corner edges. I always prefer and gravitate towards the rounded edges just because I typically stick to more curvier fonts, but certainly you may want to use more of a straight edge font or straight edge offset if you're doing an offset around like a picture, or if you're doing the offset around something that is just a little bit more boxy, if you will. So now that I've created the offset for the name, I'm going to go ahead and grab a snowflake image from Cricut Design Space Images. You certainly could upload any image that you choose and you'd like to do an offset on. Any cut file will work. And so I'm going to go ahead and change the color real quick, size this to what I know is going to fit on the notebook that I'm working on for this project. And then we're going to go back to the offset feature. And we're going to go ahead and create an offset for the snowflakes. So again, going back to the offset, toggling or typing in what you so choose. I typically like to gravitate to a 0.097 offset or a 0.080 typically is an offset that I like. It's close enough to the original image or font that it doesn't look so spacious, if you will, but it also gives enough space that if you're utilizing this as a peekaboo, that you still can capture all that gorgeous glitter under the vinyl. So I'm going to duplicate my snowflake since I am utilizing this to create a notebook that I'm working on for this lovely lady. And so I'm going to duplicate that and just make sure I have enough snowflakes and that everything is going to fit on the notebook cover that I'm going to be working on. So everything that is in the dark charcoal gray will be whatever vinyl that I choose that's going to match my notebook. What is in black on the canvas, or what is the offset, I should say, that is all going to be cut on stencil vinyl. Okay, so stencil vinyl is the blue vinyl that I like to grab from. It's an Oracle brand stencil vinyl, and it's just perfect for doing peekaboos. Really easy and simple to remove. So I didn't color code these, which I probably should have when I created the canvas, but everything that's in black, and I'm going to show you kind of the cut mats in a second here. But everything that is in black is going to be cut on stencil vinyl, because again, this is going to be an offset peekaboo. And then everything that is that dark charcoal gray will be a vinyl of my choosing. I'm actually going to be using the vinyl that I got from the sparkle vinyl from Ahijoy Vinyl. So I showed you guys in a couple tutorials that I got a pack of 3 sets of vinyls from Ahijoy Vinyl. I have a discount code down in the description box for you in case you'd like to try them out. And I'm actually going to be using the final sparkle vinyl, which I have yet to use to create this notebook. So again, here's the mats here. So everything that's in black on this black mat is going to be what will be, I should say, my stencil vinyl. And then the second mat, that dark charcoal, will be my Ahijoy sparkle vinyl that I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to save this so that when I'm ready to cut this, it'll be ready for me. And then now let's go ahead and move on to the second way that I like to use the offset feature in Cricut. So we're still in Cricut here, and so for this I'm actually going to be making a set of coasters. So originally I figured I would make a keychain, but because you guys have already seen me create a keychain most recently on my channel, I decided to change this into a set of coasters for myself. So I've taken a 2-inch circle, which ironically is just a little bit smaller than the size of the coasters that I have for acrylic blanks. And I've used that as kind of my guidelines to make sure that the wording that I'm going to be using and text font is all going to fit with the offsets inside of this circle. So I'm choosing a font now, just any font of my choosing here. And I'm going to go ahead and then type in what I want this to say. So for this, because it's going to be a set of coasters for my car, for myself, I'm just going to go ahead and put Lysha B here, which obviously is my brand. So I'm just going to go ahead and type that in. I'm going to put the B on the second line, and then you're going to see me go up here to the line spacing tool, and I'm just going to decrease the amount of space between the top line and the bottom line there. So you can just decrease that space by going into the negative with that until it is close enough to your liking. So once I've gotten that and I'm pretty satisfied, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this is still selected and go over to combine and weld that image together. Again, making sure that I don't end up with any cut lines in the different pieces of this calligraphy font here. So we're going to go ahead and get that sized. I'm going to go ahead and center this to the circle and the wording just to make sure that it's centered and is going to fit. That way I can just make sure that when I do the offset, it's going to make sense. So we're going to go to the offset feature, and for this offset, I'm going to make it a bit tighter. I believe I end up making it a 0.080, just a little bit smaller than what I used before for the peekaboo, which is the 0.097. I'll have the offset sizing listed in the description box. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and just go to the contour. So I've selected the offset, and because the offset sometimes has these small pieces, I don't really want my Cricut to cut those small pieces because it's not necessary. It doesn't mess with the offset whatsoever. I'd rather it be one full piece. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get those removed. So you just select the contour, and that is going to hide the little cuts that is on the image, if that makes sense. So I'm going to change the color just so it's better and easier for me to identify. And so I'm going to go back and size this and just make sure that it's all going to fit. And then we're going to do one more offset. So this is going to be more of a peekaboo offset. I know that seems super complicated, but I really like to do an offset of my lettering for different projects if I really want them to pop. But I decided to do kind of like this 3-layered offset for the simple reason of I was going to be utilizing glitter on the car coaster, and so I wanted to see the glitter, but I didn't want the glitter to take up the entire coaster. I wanted there to be a couple other colored elements, and I'm really gravitating towards using purple for my set of coasters. So I've gone and separated the back offset from the original. And then I'm going to create a smaller, skinnier offset on the inside. So this is where I play around kind of with how large I want that to be or how small. I ended up going with a 0.40. It's a really tight offset, and this is going to give me the exact pop that I want for my lettering without sort of overtaking the entire offset space. So it's going to make a lot more sense once I get this onto the actual item that I'm applying this to, but just bear with me here. So I'm going to go though back to the contour of the second image there, so what is in black, and I'm going to remove any super small cuts that just aren't necessary for my Cricut to cut, and instead of dragging my Cricut through that, she's been through a lot already, I'm going to go ahead and remove those small pieces. So once I'm satisfied with that, I then am ready to send this off to be cut, okay? So what's currently in that gold brown color will be my stencil vinyl, and then what's in black is going to be gold, and what is white will be a white vinyl. So once I'm satisfied, send this off to be cut, and let's go ahead and look at the projects we're going to be using to apply both of the offset features I've shown you in Cricut. Okay, so here are the two projects that we're going to be applying the offset features to here. And so I'm doing both a notebook and a coaster, as I mentioned, to kind of showcase these two offset features. And what I've done is I've already cut out my stencils on blue stencil vinyl. On the notebook there for glitter, I did already pre-glitter these. That is Blue Jay from my Asia Creations, and on the car coaster, I have Mauve Purple from my Asia Creations as well. So we're going to go ahead and apply the offsets to both images or both items right now. So for the coaster, because this is going to be a little bit of a peekaboo, but it's more of a peekaboo offset because we have kind of that third layer, if you will. I'm going to go ahead and take the backing off the other side of the coaster so that one side remains all glittered, and then the front half will have sort of that peekaboo offset look. So I've just applied that Lysha bee stencil right to the center, and we're going to go ahead and work on the notebook next. So super simple here, just putting and layering all of these items on here. Stencil vinyl, again, is always my go-to when it comes to working with and doing a peekaboo. It's so easy to remove the stencil vinyl from the project once you're done either painting, or maybe you're doing a peekaboo that incorporates another glitter color. It's so much easier to be able to remove than struggling with permanent vinyl, which I definitely don't recommend, or sometimes even removable vinyl can really give me quite a hard time. This just always removes so easily, so I always recommend using stencil vinyl when doing peekaboo projects. So once I've gotten my snowflakes applied, the next thing I'm going to do is, because these are peekaboos, these are going to go outside and get spray painted. So for the coaster, I'm going to be spray painting this with a satin light lavender purple paint from Rust-Oleum. And then for my notebook, I'm going to do a pink and white ombre here. So the center section will be the matte white, and the top and bottom will be a color, a sort of light candy pink color. So first, of course, I'm going to start after everything's dry and remove all of the stencil vinyl from both of my projects. And so now it's time to use the Joy Sparkle vinyl that I cut all of the actual images on for the snowflake notebook and get those applied. So again, this was meant to be just a peekaboo offset for this particular project. So you can still see that beautiful glitter that is lined underneath the offset that's left behind, and the vinyl that I'm applying on top does not overtake that space to the point where you can't see all the beautiful glitter that I've applied under it. So I'm going to go ahead and speed through applying this. Really simple and easy. I was just being super careful because I didn't put a layer of epoxy on my notebook before going into applying my vinyl decals. Typically I'd put a layer of epoxy beforehand, so I was trying to be very careful to not end up accidentally chipping or removing any of that spray paint from the notebook and having to kind of start over, which would be a bit of a bummer. But I'm gonna go ahead and apply the rest of the snowflakes. But this is one of my favorite ways to utilize the offset feature in Cricut Design Space is to create my peekaboos. I have such a unique look. It's so pretty. You can capture all that glitter while still being able to put that vinyl inside to be able to showcase what the image is, whether it's a name, whether it's snowflakes like this, or maybe it's leopard print, whatever the case may be. There's so many options out there for sort of this peekaboo style offset. And I do have a couple tutorials on my channel that certainly showcase this specific design sort of, you know, in the creation of a tumbler. So let's go ahead and move over to the coaster, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to layer this and get this applied to that. Okay, so for the coaster is a little bit different. So this is really showcasing the other way that I like to use the offset feature, which is to create sort of a way to make my wording pop. So this works especially well for my like black vinyl, or if I'm going to be do wording in white. And so what I've done here is I've taken the Lysha bead that I've cut on white vinyl, and I've layered it directly on top of and lining everything up on my gold textured metallic vinyl. Okay, and so this gives those white letters sort of like that extra pop that I need, and then literally I'm just going to apply that to that open offset section straight in the center. So you don't have to necessarily do it that way. You could just use it as sort of the offset way, that just to make the letters pop. But I really do hope that this was helpful in helping you understand sort of the offset feature and how you can utilize it to make some amazing crafts. Well, that's it for me. I really do hope that you enjoyed today's video. Definitely make sure to comment below and let me know what you thought, and if there's anything else you'd like me to show you. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!